Hi everyone, Mary Jane from Music Therapy Works, and I'm bringing you another brief music therapy morsel. Today's topic is board certification examination because this is something that I think we don't really understand extremely well. And so before we get started into our topic, I want to tell you one thing, which is that I took the board certification examination once in the last century, and I have worked really, really hard over the last years to make sure I never have to take it again. And that's specifically because I was able to find all kinds of opportunities for continuing music therapy education, which we'll talk about in another morsel. But today's topic is the board certification exam, and I just want to give you some ideas of things to think about with this particular examination. First of all, the board certification examination does not really measure your competence in leading groups and doing sessions. And this is because, quite frankly, it would be very, very difficult to do that. If we had to do some sort of discussion, or we had to have somebody who came in and observed us doing sessions in groups, the process would be cost prohibitive. So quite frankly, the fact that you have to finish your internship before you're eligible to sit for the board certification examination is that mark of whether or not you're a competent music therapist, whether or not you can get up in front of a group of people and play the music that you need to play, or manage that group so that way people are getting to their therapeutic goals. Same with individuals. So quite frankly, the board certification examination is not designed to test whether or not you're going to be an effective music therapist within the session itself. And that's purposeful. And the reason you have to finish your internship and you have to have a letter of endorsement from your internship director is that the CBMT examination cannot check that competence for you. So it helps to think of the certification examination, as a check of your knowledge base and your critical thinking skills. Basically, what the CBMT examination measures is whether or not you can think through the information that you gained in coursework, the experience that you gained as a clinician in your internship, and you can then start to synthesize that information to make determinations about what will work in specific clinical areas and arenas. The board certification examination is not easy. It's not meant to be easy. And it really is meant to be a way for you to demonstrate that you can take the information that you know, you can place it within a theoretical or philosophical orientation, and then you can determine what you think would be the best option for you. Now, I hear people talking all the time about the board certification examination and about how questions are difficult and about how it's not an easy thing to pass. And quite frankly, it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be something that challenges each and every one of us to be the best music therapist that we possibly can. What you need to do when you're sitting down to take the board certification is you need to read all of the question information very, very carefully. You need to look for any clues, any words that clue you into which theory of music therapy you need to be thinking about. You need to look very carefully to see if this is a client response, if this is a therapist response. How are you supposed to interpret this? And you need to determine what is the best answer, not the right answer, the best answer, because many of our questions, from what I hear and from what I remember, there isn't a wrong answer, but there is a best answer as determined by music therapists who are overseeing what am I trying to say? Sorry, it's very early in the morning here, but they're trying to oversee the validity of the test and the reality of the test. And so what you need to do is you need to realize that there may be 3 right answers, and you have to determine what is the best answer based on the information that's given to you in the context of the question. All right, so my tips for the board certification examination are to, first of all, find somebody who's taken it recently, not somebody who took it many, 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 many years ago. Secondly, to work really carefully on interpreting what they're asking while you're taking the examination. And third of all, to really, really develop those critical thinking skills, those problem-solving skills, because that's really what the board certification examination is meant to measure. Before I leave you, I want to tell you the one question I remember from my own board certification examination. I'm going to tell you what the 4 options were. I'm not going to tell you what I chose. I have no idea if I got the question right or wrong. And so, I don't know what the best answer was, but this is the question that stuck with me many, many, many years since. The question was, you are a music therapist working in a psychodynamic psychoanalytical model. You have a client who has been referred to you to address specific issues in her life. And during the session, you feel that you have started to address a particular concern with that client. But you don't feel that that concern has been resolved. The issue is left unresolved, and you need to continue the conversation during the next session. So what is the last chord that you play in your musical interaction before the client leaves in order to signal to the client that this issue has not been resolved? There you go. So the options were a tonic, a 1 chord, a dominant 7, 5, 7, a diminished 7th chord, or a minor 2 chord. That was the question. Those were the answers. I think I remember what I chose. I'm not going to tell you what I thought it was. Tell me in the comments below what chord you think would be the best way to answer that particular question. And if you are interested in getting more information from us, click subscribe and hit that notification bell, and you'll be notified every time we upload another Music Therapy Morsel. Thanks, everybody, and have a wonderful day.